Christmas. For most, it's a time for being with family, eating to your heart's content, roasting chestnuts on an open fire, and the giving and receiving of an abundance of innate tat. But for a select few of us, it's also the best time of year to begin working on arguably the most joyful, heartwarming and uplifting of audio projects, a Christmas-themed radio station! And if that notion tickles your baubles, then stay tuned, my friend, as I'm going to tell you how to do it. This video is made by Radio.co. To start your free Radio.co trial in seconds, head to Radio.co and click on the pricing page. Ho, 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 ho! Phil here from Radio.co. And just like Mariah Carey, I've crept out of my festive cubbyhole to deliver yet another festively spirited video guide, all about how to incorporate the spirit of Christmas into the relevancy of our platform. Now, with Christmas and the end of the year very quickly approaching, it's often the time you'll find yourselves twiddling your thumbs a little more than usual. So what better time to think about launching your very own radio station? Or better yet, a Christmas internet radio station. And if you need a whistle-stop crash course on how all of this works, then hold on to your sacks. So to begin with, I'm going to give you a little bit of an introduction to what this internet radio thing is all about, particularly for those of you who have never thought about launching your own radio station until this very moment, and of course, new visitors to our YouTube channel. And if you like what you're about to see and hear, then make sure you click subscribe and the bell icon so you can see much more videos like this, because they're here all year round. So, internet radio. Well, first of all, it can be 24/7, or by default, most internet radio is 24/7, particularly when using a platform like Radio.co, more on that later, that's designed to keep it running around the clock. And not only around the clock, but around the globe. A huge advantage of internet radio to more traditional terrestrial radio is that it is available all over the world. Well, or rather, those who have access to the internet have access to your radio station. And hey, it doesn't have to stop you creating a local community radio station. It just so happens that people on the complete opposite end of the world can still listen to your station. So because of it being global, it's instantly a lot more accessible, and more accessible through internet-based devices. So again, unlike traditional terrestrial radio where you're listening to it specifically through radio players or maybe the car, you can actually listen to internet radio purely from mobile phones, from computers and smart speakers even. And again, our platform can help make that available easily for you. So if you want to listen to a radio station on the go, then, well, or rather, if you are listening to radio stations on the go right now, it's of course an internet radio station. A lot of terrestrial radio stations create internet version or variants of their radio station to again increase the accessibility. From a station owner's, station manager's perspective, a radio station on the internet is actually very, very cheap to run. Not that it's something you can just go into a shop and buy, but if you were to launch a brand new terrestrial radio station, or even a DAB radio station here in the UK especially, this is something that could cost you tens of thousands of pounds or tens of thousands of dollars every single month to keep running. Internet radio is not like that at all. It's the complete polar opposite, costing, well, I guess anything from, on our platform for one of our better plans, $59 a month will get you up and running for a really, really comfortable way of broadcasting 24/7 all over the globe. Of course, you also don't need transmitters. You don't need to get on board with a frequency. It's literally just, as long as you have an internet connection, your radio station is available to stream. Because of that huge lack of external equipment and infrastructure, it also means that it's very, very quick to set up. And it's why, both of those points really, being cheap and quick to manage, is the reason why a lot of new radio stations are launching exclusively as online internet radio stations, because I could, and I'm going to show you how, but I could launch a radio station in just mere minutes. And you might be thinking, radio? Really? A lot of people listen to things on Spotify, or a lot of people listen to podcasts, and yes, that is extremely true, but internet radio is still hugely, hugely popular all over the world. In fact, over half the UK and US population of adults do listen to internet radio. And you're thinking, over half? Surely? Yes, that's millions and millions and millions of people still all over the world are listening to internet radio. And the best part is, if you're a big Christmas nutter like me here, you could actually play Christmas music all year round. There's no rules, no regulations really when it comes to, how you can broadcast. There are, of course, licensing queries about what sort of music or content you may want to play. But if you wanted to launch an internet radio station, you don't need to seek permission to do that. You can create one. You can have Christmas music playing all throughout the year, every single day. Christmas music, just imagine it. So, yeah, how on earth can you do that? So that's a little bit of the what in regards to what is internet radio. But what about the how? Well, through Radio.co, of course. And honestly, it's so much easier to run your own radio station than you may initially think. Trust me, this is something I talk with people about every single day. And if you don't believe me, well, let's take a little peek. So, in front of me, I have got our Radio.co platform, and what you should be able to see right now is the Radio.co dashboard. Now, I'm not going to go through every single nook and cranny on the platform. If you're interested in learning a bit more, not only do we have an abundance of guides on our website, but also you can talk to me personally. You can get in contact via studio@radio.co, and we can arrange a personal, sort of 30-minute call where I can show you the platform again for you and ask, and of course ask all your questions, answer anything you want, go through any sort of initial plans and thoughts that you have. This is really just to give you a very, very, very brief overview of basically the basics, so you can see exactly how quick and easy you could get your own station up and running. The most important thing actually is here right on the left. It's your on-air, off-air button. And just going back to something I said just a few minutes ago is that, by default, your internet radio station, particularly with Radio.co, is 24/7. As long as you turn your station on air and you upload at least one MP3 file, your station has been designed to remain on air all day, every day. So do know you can turn it off if you want. Most of our stations leave it running 24/7. So the basics, first of all, I'm going to go through uploading media, and that really couldn't be any simpler. You just click the Add Media button here in the top right, and as long as you have MP3 files, you can upload them. And these can be anything you like. They can be podcasts, it can be music, interviews, weather, news, jingles, ads. As long as it's an MP3 file or an AAC file, so if you've ever bought anything off iTunes, chances are it's been saved automatically as an AAC. It's like Apple's version of an MP3 file. But you just select the files on your computer or drag them onto the screen, and they then sit in your media library. If I just click that here. And so this is my media library. This is cloud-based as well. So even if I logged into this station from a completely different computer, I will have my media in front of me right here. And you'll see that a number of these tracks have got these brightly coloured labels to the side here, like one such as Jingle here, Northern Soul, 90s Rock here. Ignore the fact that none of these tracks are classed as those tags. That's just examples I've made. But these are called tags. They are basically a label that you give to your media just to keep things nice and neat and tidy. So if you're uploading lots of genres, why not just categorize them as such? But you've uploaded your media. That's all sitting on here. And then you build playlists. And the reason why you upload media is to build specifically these playlists, because anything that has been uploaded to your account and then has been set to play will play in automation. That means it's going to run all by itself. Even if you have your computer off, you have no power, no internet, your station is uninterrupted and it continues playing around the clock of the content that you've uploaded, because as I say, it's all cloud-based. It means it's being powered by us. So if I jump to playlists, you'll see a few examples I've made already. I've got a breakfast show, Phil's Rock Show, podcasts down here, and these are playlists I've made that can contain whatever you like. You can make as many playlists as you want. There's an infinite number of them. You can make them as long as you want, as short as you like. You basically just tell the software what it is you want it to play. However, there is a playlist that you begin with, which is this one, the default playlist. Now, what the default playlist is this is one that has been almost designed to solely be your auto DJ if you wanted it to, because anything that you place inside this default playlist will automatically fade in and take over when your station is on air, but you have nothing there. So this is the main way of your station running as a 24-hour radio station. It means you don't need to personally schedule 24 hours of content yourself. I mean, it's quite a large task to do, so don't worry about it. So if I just jump ahead for a moment to my schedule, a great example of what I've just mentioned is right here. You can see Monday to Sunday across the top, midnight till 6 a.m., this section of my schedule is completely blank. And in fact, it's also completely blank right now at the time of recording. So during all of these gaps, as long as my station is on air, this default playlist will automatically take over. I don't need to tell the software to do that. That's sort of the default playlist, but to build your own playlist, you just come here and you click Create Playlist right here. You then give it a name, so I'll just call this one Fill Demonstration Example. You can give it a color. I'll just keep with a black. Why not? I'll just click Save. And then it then opens up my playlist builder. So here you can see the name of my playlist, and at the moment my playlist sequence is empty. I've not added anything to my playlist yet, of course. So all I do is I can search for specific tracks in this this search bar, or I can work my way down this list here. And there's options to add a track right to the start or right at the end. It doesn't really matter how you add them in, because, of course, when you add them in, you can drag them around and change the order yourself. And you'll see that the duration here, if I just zoom in, is adding up in real time. So every time I add a new track in, the duration totals up as well. So this is really just showing you in real time exactly how long this show is going to be. So 27 minutes in this case. And that's how simple it can be. You know, if you wanted lots of jingles, to music to play, all you need to do is find them, add them in as such, change the order if you wish. And there we go, you could click save. I did want to point out one really, really good feature actually that I really, really like using is voice tracking. And this is a way where you could build a playlist of music like what I've got here, but I can pre-record voice links and slot them within my playlist. So if I wanted to sound like I was doing a live show when, you know, actually I'm not actually live, voice tracking, that's how you do it. It's how a lot of mainstream radio stations are run for the majority of the time. They have a playlist of music, a DJ comes in, records a couple of pre-recorded links, and that's it. It now sounds like there's a live host, and it's arguably a much better option than just having back-to-back music. It sounds like radio. It sounds like there's actually someone trying to develop a relationship with you, a connection with you, talking to you, keeping you company. So using voice tracks is a great way to have your presence and your character and your passions on air well, anytime you like, around the clock. And then when you're happy with your playlist, you just click save, like so. And then you schedule it. And to schedule, you just click the time you want it to start and you drag it to the time you want it to finish. So if I was to do a show today, 2 p.m. till 4 p.m., all I would do is I would click 2 and I would drag it down to 4. Like so. I've created an event on a calendar and I just need to clarify the details of it. So let's see, it starts at 2, it runs for 2 hours, and it finishes at 4. Perfect, that's what I wanted. At the moment, I'm just scheduling it for today, for Tuesday, but I can highlight all the other days in the week, and it will schedule it across those days as well. So Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday perhaps, or every day. It's going to schedule it across every highlighted day at that specific time. Not only can I schedule this across multiple days of the week, but I can schedule it for multiple weeks in advance. I can click repeat every week, and put a random date in within the next 2 years. Here, I've got the 16th of April next year. And then the final thing you do is tell the software what sort of show is this going to be. Is it going to be a playlist or is it going to be a live show? If it's going to be a playlist like what we made before, highlight event type playlist. And from here at the top, you'll see a drop-down menu here, and this is where you choose the playlist you want. So the one I want is the Fill Demonstration Example, very hotly titled show. Click on that, and you can see now it says the Fill Demonstration Example playlist is going to play at that time on those days for that many weeks. And if you're happy with all those decisions, you click Create, give it a second or two, and hey presto, that's been scheduled. From 2 till 4, specifically, that playlist is going to play. And as I say, because this is all cloud-based, as long as you turned your station on air, it doesn't matter if your computer is off, you have no power, no internet, this show is guaranteed to start playing at 2 and finish playing at 4 all by itself. And if you want to schedule something that's live, all you do is very similarly, you just select the live DJ option here and you choose who that host is going to be, because you can give people remote access to your station. So that's, you know, the bare basics there really of scheduling, of programming your station, essentially how you get your station running in just a matter of minutes. It's taken me, less than 10 minutes to kind of go through all of that. There is a few more details we can go over. That's just a very, very basic overview of what the platform can look like and how you can schedule content and turn your station on air. But if you want something a bit more in depth, then please do get in touch. studio@radio.co is a way you can email me directly, and we can arrange a time for us to have a video call, or you can do it yourself, and you can just go on our website, Radio.co, and along the top of the page, you'll see the option to book a demo. Enter your details in there and find a time that suits you. So, as you can clearly see, Radio.co will easily give you the means to create your own playlists, broadcast live, grow your listeners, and overall just allow you to enjoy yourself, doing something you've always wanted to, playing your favorite Christmas music. Obviously, keeping in line with the festive theme we've got going on, now is, of course, the perfect time to ask Little Saint Nick for some swanky pieces of equipment to stuff your stockings with. And again, following suit, you really do not need much to get started. First of all, an everyday working computer. Do not need the most high-spec Mac computer or highest-spec Windows computer, just something you use every day, something, as long as it at least loads up and it's got some USB ports for equipment you may want to use. That's it. It could just be the one that you use to work on every single day. I do get people asking me about Chromebooks, and you can use a Chromebook with Radio.co, particularly for the managing of the station, uploading your media, building your shows, basically everything I just showed you in that demonstration. However, you will not be able to broadcast live with a Chromebook due to the software that's needed to do that isn't compatible with Chrome OS. Along with that, of course, you will need an internet connection. I mean, you can't create an internet radio station without having access to the internet yourself. And again, just a normal one. You don't need something that is super high speed. We would always recommend at least 2 megabytes of upload speed, particularly when you're broadcasting live. Kind of additionally, having an Ethernet connection, a wired connection to your internet, will certainly help maintain a stable relationship between you and the internet when you're broadcasting live. But yeah, again, just your normal home-based internet connection should more than do the job. I would also say you kind of want comfortable wired headphones, kind of like what I've got here. I've got some Rode NTH100s. I would always say wired headphones as well, just to make sure that there's no latency between what you're saying and what you're hearing in your headphones, which can sometimes come across when you're using something that's Bluetooth, that's wireless. So having something that's wired, comfortable, does the job, will be absolutely fine with you. And that's, I'd say, really just the fundamentals. There's things that will allow you to at least start a Radio.co subscription, begin uploading your media, and actually having an automated radio station. But what if you want to apply a bit of your voice, a bit of your character? Well, you're going to want a microphone. Now, some people like to ask me about, is it okay if I use the inbuilt microphone on my computer? And yeah, maybe as an absolute last resort, but really you want to get yourself a proper microphone, a USB-powered microphone. And it can be a really good beginner step to getting a USB-powered microphone because, despite it being a beginner, you just plug it straight into your computer and away it goes. There's no need to use anything else. But it's, these beginner microphones, are particularly one I'm going to recommend to you now, sounds incredibly high quality. So I would always recommend spending at least £50, £80, so $50 or $80 or so, maybe more leaning towards the $100 mark for a good microphone, because the last thing you want to do is spending so much time creating this amazing content, this wonderful radio station, but you sound awful on air. You sound, like people can't really hear you because you've got a poor quality microphone. This is one that I would recommend here. It's again by Rode. This is the NT-USB. This is actually a microphone I used to own myself before upgrading to something a bit more advanced, let's say. This is a fantastic microphone. It comes with its own pop shield. It comes with its own stand. It's USB powered. Plug straight in and away you go. And yeah, it's honestly a very, very good high quality sounding microphone. And I think it cost me about £90 to £100 or so when I initially bought it a few years ago. So yeah, this will be available to kind of purchase anywhere you like. Now, if you want something that's a bit more intermediate, let's say, so something that's not quite advanced, something that you don't need to splash an awful lot of money on, the combination for that, I would say, is a USB powered audio interface alongside an XLR microphone. An audio interface is essentially a very compact mixing desk. It's designed really to be portable. You just plug it in. It's got very limited use. The main thing it's going to do is it's going to allow you to use a high quality XLR microphone, kind of like the Shure SM7B that I'm using here. You cannot plug this straight into a computer. It needs to actually plug into a device because it's got an XLR cable. And this is probably one of the most popular ones. This is certainly one that we've been using for many, many years here at Radio.co. It is the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. There's many different variations of it. There's ones that have a lot more inputs. There's one that just has one in it. But this is one that we've used, again, for many, many years. It's a very reputable brand, very solid, very durable piece of equipment. And yeah, for a microphone, I kind of just went straight for this. This is my personal favorite microphone, the Shure SM7B. Very much industry standard. You'll see a lot of studios all over the world really using this globally renowned microphone, and people have been using it for many, many decades. And then if you want something that's a bit more advanced, look no further than kind of the Rodecaster Duo or the Rodecaster Pro 2, again, which is something I use personally and we use a lot here. More of an advanced piece of kit. It's a mixer that's capable of doing a lot more things. It's got smart pads, hotkeys that fire off jingles. It has different microphone inputs you can use, sound effects and everything. And yeah, it's a very much a future-proof device. That's the way I like to describe it. It's giving you everything you could possibly need to do on your radio station without the need of having to invest in anything else down the line. Rodecaster Pro 2, again, quite expensive. It's, I think, about $700, something like this. The Duo, slightly smaller, and obviously has a discount compared to the Rodecaster Pro 2, if that is of interest. Very much advanced, a lot of bells and whistles. And there we have it. In no time at all, I feel like I've guided you on how you could launch your very own Christmas-themed radio station. And believe it or not, you'll be on air in no time at all using all the tips and tricks I've discussed in this video. So what are you waiting for? Head to our website, radio.co/pricing to start your own free 7-day trial today. And with that, all the best. Happy broadcasting. Have a wonderful Christmas time.
Are you looking for a podcast or radio show to appear on? Are you struggling to find a guest for your podcast or radio show? Let me introduce you to Matchmaker.fm. Simply create a profile, narrow your niche, and use the inbuilt messenger to contact potential partners. And the best part, it's free to sign up. So, let's find your match.